Hey guys, Mark Angelo here. My Life this series, Chapter 3. Why did Violet and Mark break up, and what happened after that? As I mentioned in earlier videos, Violet was an incredible human being. She really was a good wife. I have no complaints. Besides the fact that I was still empty, I was still searching. I felt that was not that was not it. That there was more, a lot more to take place. So Violet and I went through so many stages. We did a spiritual journey. We became raw vegans. We bought a nice little home in Florida, in Flamingo and Hiatus area. And it was like a prefab home, and got a really good deal for it. I almost paid it off cash, had very low mortgage. We created a wonderful garden in the back and grew a bunch of fruits and vegetables. And you all could see that. I have a playlist in this channel. I forgot the name of the playlist, but I think the raw vegan lifestyle. And it was a time of my life where I was really spiritually awakened. And in that spiritual awakenedness, I became really aware of the fact that I was not complete. And for the first, maybe 9-10 years in Violet's and I marriage, I really numbed myself. I drank a lot. We used to party a lot. We were health conscious per se. I was more into the bodybuilding, and we ate the 6 meals a day, and I tried to train hard, and I had a pretty impressive physique. But I wasn't as healthy, as I am, or as I became when I became a raw vegan. And the reason I became a raw vegan was after I had surgery in my shoulder, I think the anesthesia, and I just didn't feel right. And I started feeling the inflammation in my lymph glands. I became very freaked out. The way I was feeling, I stopped taking testosterone. I wanted to do something and clean myself out. I figure all the years of steroids and all the years of using hormones and drinking and partying and all of that was catching up. So I wanted to do something to better myself, hence the raw veganism. And that went well for quite a while. Till, like I said, that raw veganism created an awakeness in me that just said, I need more. So and I split up, got divorced. It was very amicable. It was just, I told her, hey, I just don't feel like, this is it for me, and we just went our separate ways. Well, that was the beginning of a roller coaster of my life. I ended up going to Argentina, meeting a trans woman, because I figured to myself, well, maybe that's what I need, is somebody, who has the same, life situations as me, well, better than a trans person, right? So this individual from Argentina had been friends with me on Facebook for quite a while, and they were always making comments about my pictures and, things of that nature. We would, was it MSN chat or something on a daily basis, and rebound. I'm always in these rebounds, which are very dangerous. I ended up selling the house, selling my car, getting rid of everything, and heading to Argentina. Crazy, I know. Got to Argentina, and it was not at all what I expected. I was there for 7 weeks and came back. Don't want to badmouth the person that I was with, but put it this way, I was promised a Cadillac and sold a Gremlin. And not just because of looks, because I'm not all about that. It was just the character wasn't there. They promised, or I wouldn't say promised, they said they were like a geisha, that they really wanted to take care of their man, and and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. And again, I don't know why that always appeals to me, you know, the whole old-fashioned woman take care of man, you know, and hey, call it whatever, you know, it's just, that's what has always appealed to me. Maybe because I didn't have a normal home growing up, you know, such a dysfunctional home, that is what I've always craved, this normalness, you know, this, you know, role, which is stupid, you know, but it's part of my thing. Get there, no geisha. As a matter of fact, you know, everything but a geisha. And there were hygiene issues, which I'm a stickler for that. There was issues that, you know, that I never had with the 11 years that I was with Violet, or even with other females that I'd been with in the past. I mean, not to say that lesbians don't argue, but it wasn't that, you know, that constant need of power hungry control, clashing. I say this, no, I say that. No, I said the sky is blue. No, it's purple. You know, that kind of thing. And that was bad. That was really bad. And I was like, no geisha, argumentative. It was just like this, always trying to prove a point, argumentative type of nature. I was like, I'm out of here. 7 weeks, it was all I could muster, and I came back to the United States. You'd think I'd learn, but no. I went out, I was working as a manager for a rehab company, and, you know, I was making really good money. I was making like $48 an hour or something like that. And, yeah, I wanted to go out, meet somebody. And again, you figured I try to go out in a straight bar and try to pick up on a girl. But that always worried me, because it's like, what do you do? Yeah, they see all this. And when it comes time to sex, well, I'm kind of not your typical guy. I don't have any balls. I have a dick that's the size of my thumb, you know. I don't know how well that would have flown, you know. And it's always in the back of my mind. You get a girl that's attracted to you, and then you have to explain the whole rigmarole, you know. And I'm sure some might be open to it if they're bisexual, but some might freak out. So I went, instead of going to a regular bar, you know, to meet people, I went to a tranny bar. Sorry for the name, but it was Trixie. That's what it was known for. You know, it was like a hole in the wall. No, not Trixie, I'm sorry, the Castle. And it was a hole in the wall, you know, but it was nearby. I don't like to drive far if I'm going to have a couple of drinks, you know, responsibility. And I walked in there. I almost did a 360 and walked out, because it looked like a scary dungeon. You know, it was dark and smoke filled, and just the kind of people that go there to pick up trans women, you know, the typical. And I just felt out of place completely. But I figure I'm in here, let me have a drink. So I'm picky. Right? I'm a picky person, because, you know, I put 150 of me, I expect the same in return. So when I go out to drink, I expect my drinks to be made right. You know, if it takes a lemon, put a lemon. So I don't remember what I ordered. I don't know if it was cranberry and vodka with a lime or something. And it's just the way the presentation of the drink was awful. I'm like, what did you guys do? Cut the lemon with a screwdriver? I mean, because the way the lemon was, it was like really, really odd. So corner of my eye, I see that this blonde, rocker type, because that's, you know, what they look like, came and approached me. Sir, can I help you? What's wrong? And I said, oh, I really don't appreciate the way this drink has, the presentation of it, and actually it doesn't taste that great. So she goes, no worries, sir, I'll take care of it. So she took the drink, threw it away, made me a new one, fresh one, you know, presentable, tasted good. I'm like, oh, thank you. Well, guess who that was? Jessica. So, you know, I started talking, and I said, you know what, I'm trans. And she gives me this disgusted look, like, you're trans? And here's this big macho. What does she think, that I was saying that I was an MTF? Probably cross-dresser, but I was still presenting as man. I said, no. I was born female. I transitioned to a guy. and her eyes just lit up. It was like, whoa, and we started talking some more. I asked for her number. Typical me. I'm like crazy. I'm single. I could be, crazy. So text the next day, and found out that she kind of had a boyfriend that had been, he was a truck driver, and they didn't see each other all the time, only when he came to town. And before you know it, we just kept talking and texting, even though they were together per se. We met up. I had invited her over, and actually took her out to a really nice restaurant, which she had never been to a restaurant of that caliber before, because her boyfriend wouldn't take her to places like that. And before you know it, yeah, I fell for the trap again. And we moved in together. Actually, she moved in with me, and the rest is history. I mean, you guys have seen videos of Jessica and I, and the love story and everything else. I ended up paying for her orchiectomy. She stayed home while I worked, played out the typical role, that stereotypical roles that people play. And I think that's something that's very prominent in the trans community, because we want to fit into that role that we've been like ostracized from and made feel like we're different and outcast and shamed and all that stuff, So that lasted 2.5 years. Jessica and I were very different. I started smoking, just something that I had stopped since 1996, or even prior, if I recall. And she cooked, but she didn't cook healthy. She ate chips and sandwiches and chicken, and I totally changed my whole health conscious lifestyle 360. Then there was the frustration. Brand new transition individual, that took forever to get ready. Everything was a commotion. Everything was an argument. Everything, again, that, and there was passion at times, but in that passion, there wasn't sincerity. There wasn't a spiritual connection whatsoever. It was just, I don't know. There was one point that I was really into her, and it was passionate and everything else, but then things just kind of like started falling apart. I became disillusioned. And that's one of the things about me, that I become disillusioned. If what I have in my head doesn't play out the way that I feel that it should, then I just, I shut down. And when I shut down, that's the end of that. And that's what ended up happening. And, with Jessica, when we got into disagreement, it was like explosive, very explosive. And, one of the things that I do, and I think maybe because of the violent upbringing that, I grew up with, one of the things that I like to do is like hold on to the person, hug them, and make them say, hey, everything's okay. I learned that also in therapy, that when children who have, learning disability, they have behavioral issues, you wrap them in how do you call it, like a comforter or a blanket, and you rock them, or you just hold them tight. It's supposed to calm them down. And people with neurological impairment, that works greatly. So I've always, you hug a person, you hold them, and that's supposed to calm them down. That's how the neurological system works. That's why they say hugging is so good for you. Well, that doesn't work very well with trans women, the hugging bit, because they become, what's the word? It's a flight or fight, and in that flight or fight, I never strike first. I never do because I'm not a violent person. But if I feel that I'm being hurt or I feel in danger, I will defend myself. So in that scenario, that Jessica and I have had, several altercations of fighting because of that, or she was trying to hurt herself and bang her head against the concrete wall or punch a wall, or there was a lot of frustration, and that just didn't fly over well, and after a while, that kind of explosion just became old, and I got tired of it, and I was just like, I can't live. I grew up with that. I grew up with my father breaking things, busting doors, making holes in walls. I didn't want any part of that, and then the drama and the whole, I don't do drama very well. I grew up with that drama. I want to run away from that drama. So needless to say, the relationship didn't work out. Of course, she tried to ruin my reputation. And what's really funny and how the way she did it was that, we split up. She went to California to meet up with this so-called Vicky Love, crossdresser, tranny chaser / crossdresser. And I guess things didn't go very well because she was there for maybe I don't know, 3 weeks or so. And then I get a call back that, she wants to come back. And I'm like, Jessica and I think it split up twice before. And this was going to be the third time that she wanted to return. I was like, no, it ain't happening. I was kind of courting somebody by the name of Gionda. And that was like a 1 week affair type of thing. And I'm like, no, I'm with somebody else, and I'm not really interested in trying to pursue us anymore. And well, that pissed Jessica off. And then all of a sudden, all these, claims of me being a wife beater and an abuser and all these lies left, right, and center started, spreading, because Jessica was determined, and she told me, I'm going to screw with you. She literally told me, I'm going to mess you up. And sure enough, she tried doing that. And it was like, she had a bunch of friends, and it was awful, an awful time. And actually, it became even worse when Lena and I got together, That really infuriated Jessica. And the rest is history. I'm sure you guys really heard a lot about that. I really think that transgender women, as much as they want to be in touch with their female side and their women's side, I think the years of socialization, especially the ones that were married and had kids, creates a different type of mentality, and I'm not judging, and I'm not trying to put anyone down. It's just how it is, It's like when you're raised a lesbian, you have a mentality and how you think women should be, or how they act, or how it's just our upbringing creates certain behaviors. I mean, it's normal. There's nothing bad with that. You're raised and socialized as a little girl, no matter how manly I look, no matter how many muscles I grow, no matter, you can't take away the 38 years, this light is blinding, 38 years of conditioning to think and feel a certain way. Gosh, right now, like at work, and I was talking to Lena this morning about, how awkward it is for me at work with these guys just like, hey, yo, bro, and they're checking out a woman and goes, oh, look at that pussy, and I'd have to like some of that, and they're just like crude, rude, and socially unacceptable, and I'm sitting there trying to I don't want to be the oddball, yeah, whatever, and I'm thinking to myself, God, this is so stupid. I've never ever related with men talk. It's like a bunch of monkeys in a cage going woof, 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 and I'm like, okay, no, that's not. I was, I was raised female. I lived and cohabitated with women as a lesbian, and we don't do that. I mean, yeah, maybe a lesbian go, hey, that's a cute girl over there, beautiful eyes. You know, they're like, oh, she's got a pair of knockers on her. I like those. You know, it's like, ew, that's not me. And I you know, it's so I've got to truly say, with the experience that I've had with other trans women, is no matter how much they want to be that gender that they want, there's just innate. It's like telling a scorpion, don't bite. Scorpions have, it's in their nature. They're gonna, like, you put your finger in front of a scorpion, he's gonna like sting you. Or a bee, or, you know, it's like, you know, there's just certain things. And I know many of you may not agree, but I mean, this is what I find with me and with the trans women that have been in my life. You know, Lena and I never got physical because, you know, Lena's not an aggressive individual. Jessica was. Jessica, as Sean, used to get into a fight all the time. You know, was the kind of person that, you know, just was violent. And I'm not judging them. I mean, for whatever reason, like, I've got my, you know, brokenness and baggage because of the way that I was raised. I'm sure Jessica had their problem or her problem. And, you know, we all come with, you know, things that make our behaviors not be the best that they can be. So I think that having been with lesbians most of my life and thinking as one, you know, it just, it's awkward. It's awkward. I mean, I dread, you know, the conversations I work with the guys, you know, because it's like I have to like mimic the body language, mimic, you know, I feel like, okay, I got to do like the natives do here because I don't want them to think, what's wrong with this guy? Is he gay or what's, you know, what's his deal, you know? So, and it's just so difficult, so not natural, so repulsive to me, you know, the way they throw things, everything is just, you know, not graceful. And, you know, I don't want to generalize. I mean, not all men are that way. There are very soft, gentle, loving men out in the world. They don't all become trans. I'm joking. But it's definitely, you know, something to think about, you know, not putting anyone down, not trying to be critical. I just think that it makes a difference. It really does make a difference how we're socialized. And, you know, I could be as rough and tough and as alpha as, you know, probably more manly than most men. I mean, even Lena has mentioned that. But deep down in my core, you know, you can't take away the nurturing. As much as I didn't want that nurturing, it came out with Lena. You know, it's just right away, got to that hospital, they put a plate of food. I mean, I wasn't even inside that ICU room for 10 minutes. The nurse came in and they were supposed to feed them because Lena couldn't use her hands. I said, no, I got this. And I sat there and I fed her, and, you know, and right away it was like, I took over. The nurses didn't have to do diddly. The only thing was if they had to give her any kind of medication or they were taking her blood pressure or anything like that, they obviously wouldn't let me do that. But everything else, from washing her hair to bathing her, to wiping her ass, I did it all from word go. That was, you know, that was the job that I took on, you know, and it was natural. You know, very natural. You don't get too many guys that, I mean, not to say that all men are zero nurturers, but in general, you know, it's like you tell a guy, oh, I'm not feeling so good. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't talk to me about it. I don't know what to do. So, you know, I'm not a medical professional, you know. And me, it comes natural. You know, it's part of who I am. So, yeah, so it's hard. It's hard the relationships between trans women and trans men, very difficult, extremely difficult relationship. And not because there isn't love, because I tell you, I mean, Ben and I were talking today, it's like there is a lot of love there. A lot of love there, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of. For starters, the kids. And to me, that was like one of the main reasons why I stepped down. Because I'm like, this is not ever going to go away. This urging, this longing for her kids, it's normal. Those are her children. She wants them in her life. So it was just like, it's time for me to step down. I need to step away. And, first of all, let Lena solve that. Hopefully they'll be able to have some sort of resolution. And then let Lena discover herself, because I was stunting her growth. Because I really didn't care about the wigs and the hair and the this and the that. It's like, I just love the person. I just wanted, I could have lived naked in a tropical island and lived happily ever after with her there, without the worries of the mirrors and the dresses and the this and the that, and not to even look at gender, because I don't care about that. It's not like I just saw a man. I saw a spirit, a human being that I fell in love with, but she's where she's at. And, I don't want to stunt her. I think I've done plenty of that without wanting to do it. It was not my intent. My intent were never to be controlling. My intent were never to stunt her. It was just to love her, protect her. And not in a, hi, I'm He-Man, I'm here to protect you kind of thing, but more of like a mama bear, And you know how protective mama bears are of the cubs. So that was me. I mean, anybody would say anything to her online that was contradicted or like would upset her. Oh my God. I'm sure you guys have read some of the stuff. I was there. Boom. It's like, how dare you talk to my woman like that, and it's how it was. But I think I'm pretty good for chapter 3 here. And now what I'm going to do, since pretty much chapter 3 has gone to where I am now, I'm going to think about how much more in detail I could go into specific times in relationships and points in my life that could have set a ball in motion, or could have set me back, or could have like created more traumas, But pretty much that's me in a nutshell, folks. And I know there's a lot of you out there that don't like me. I rub the wrong way because you think I'm arrogant, you think I'm this, that, and the other. We all have ego. We all have this protective mechanism that we create, that defensiveness. Somebody says something, whether it was to Lena or to me, it's like, I'm like, I'm not going to put up with it, because I put up with a lot of crap growing up. And as an adult, I promised myself that I would never allow anyone to take advantage of me physically, emotionally, and sexually. So Mark is that warrior, Mark is that protector. Maritza is sweet, loving, although as lesbian, I think I let a little bit of Mark out most of the time, because that was that protection. But deep down, Maritza's a very loving, sweet, nurturing, caring. Maritza will give her soul, and when, she loves. And that's who fell in love with Lena. Mark is very standoffish. He's that protector. He's that first defense, And like I told her today, I'm sure that Mark could have fallen in love with Lena, but, Mark didn't feel that Lena was, what's the word? I don't want to say not good enough for him, but didn't show that same kind of love, because Lena was still is discovering Lena. And I think that eventually one day, and I told her that, I said, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when all the challenges and all the stuff, that's going around in that head have been sorted into the proper compartments, then maybe, just maybe, we could, have another go at this and live happily ever after. I never say never, but I think it's important for her to take care of the things that she needs to take care of, so that when and if we get back together again, she's able to love me the way that I want to be loved. All right, guys, I think that's good for now. And that's chapter 3. If you guys have any questions, want to know something else, just feel free to comment down below. I've got to really now see where I'm going to take this, because it pretty much, I went from childhood to the present. I might get into deeper things regarding the way I think, the way my mind think, that whole duality. You probably guys think I'm crazy when I mention Maritza and Mark like they're two different people, but we are. We are two different people encased in one body, and we think differently and react differently. And it's all part of, almost like Sybil. Sybil developed all these personalities based on the traumas they experienced. So I think that a lot of us in the trans community create this other persona because of the traumas. All right, guys, I love you, but remember to always love yourselves too. Bye-bye.